just know that Restore Britain, we have been to a meeting. We were very impressed. Let's talk Restore Britain for a minute, because I've had a lot of comments asking me, why do I not do videos on Restore Britain? Now, I will be doing videos on Restore, apart from this one, after the Welsh elections. My purpose and my focus right now is to make sure that people have the information needed in order to vote in the May Senedd elections. Once that is all over, then I will be addressing all different parties that are UK parties. Now, Restore Britain aren't standing in the Senedd elections. Now, Rupert was considering it, and we are in contact with some of those who were involved with Rupert. And he was considering it, but they decided that it's too soon to get everything together to register the party in Wales and to get candidates in Wales ready to stand, which I think is a wise decision. However, Restore Britain, they have started meetings together in Wales, and I went to one of them. Me and Matthew, we went along, didn't we?
We did.
And it was funny because I keep forgetting that I do this. So a lot of people knew us as soon as we walked in. And the guy who was running the actual meeting, I have to say, he's different to the usual people that are organising these parties. I dare say he'll end up being something like a Welsh director or something like that. At the minute, there's no official position. He's just garnering support for Restore. But there's a manner about him which I think you would agree, Matthew, is very good. He's not rude. He's not abrupt. He listened to everybody because people were able to ask questions about Restore, about their concerns. And he allowed people to talk. He answered them, but he was able to manage the time very effectively. And he was a bit different. What do you think about him, Matthew?
It was refreshing to see just kind of like Joe Blogs off the street, does things in the community as work jobs, just being normal, average Joe Blogs.
Yes. And
just acknowledging that there's something required of him to stand up and be counted. And for him, Restore is obviously the party that perhaps represents his, I'm not putting words into his mouth, but represents his values and his ideas for the country more than other parties.
Yeah.
And there we go. We should encourage people to stand up for what they believe in.
Yeah, and there seems to be, now, like with Reform, they have branded themselves as the pubby lad, cigarette in one hand. You see Cleese, the Caerphilly candidate, and he's always got a vape in his hand or he's a cigarette. There's that type of laddishness, which Nigel comes across as quite laddie in that respect. That I think Restore are going for a different look with that, because this guy, he's obviously a sportsman and very well put together, isn't a lad in that respect. He seems to have his head screwed on, very focused, and I think that is quite refreshing. We've not seen that in the political world before, and I see that with Rupert as well. He's very collected. He's not like a laddie person, he's a farmer, and something different. Now, do I have my concerns about Restore? I absolutely do, right? But I don't think we've seen enough of them or heard enough from Rupert and others in the party in order to make a judgment about them. I do have my concerns about how extreme they go in, but I think time will tell with them. We've got the elections in 2029 in Britain, and I think from now until then will be the time that we can really research, dig into what this party stands for. They're a new party, Restore Britain. I believe it was only supposed to be a movement, was it?
I believe so, yeah. It was just like a collective thought experiment, I suppose. It's just a movement and then became a party under Rupert. One thing worth saying is I agree with you on some of the things that I think he said may be going too far.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's speaking no nonsense.
Yeah.
He's speaking truth to what this country is facing, the issues it's facing, and the potential solutions to those problems. And it's not politically correct.
No.
And I love that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing we got to come accustomed to, is because we've been given politicians that come across very politically correct. And even, Nigel Farage started out like this, where he was a little bit more extreme than the establishment. But bit by bit, it seems like he's saying or holding back what he truly believes. I think it's a bit of a tactic, and it could be a bit of a clever one as well, but that's for another video. So just know that Restore Britain, we have been to a meeting, we were very impressed. Also, another thing that I was impressed by, how many Christians were there. That was an eye-opener, because the Christian world will, a lot of them who are loud, are very, be quiet, you right, movement people. They want the right to be quiet because they believe that Jesus would have voted for the left parties, which is utterly ridiculous. But I think the Christians that were there in that Restore meeting were good, solid Christians. And a lot of them were young men, weren't they, Matthew?
Yeah.
And they were standing up and questioning and saying their beliefs and what they would like to see in the country. And these were, mid-20s, late 20s men. And I thought, my God, something is happening here. There's the rumblings of something, a movement that is beginning to sweep the UK, certainly coming into Wales right now. My only concern right now with Restore Britain, they're going to lose momentum. They're going to burn out too fast, which we've seen with a couple of parties. But we'll address that after the 7th of May, when we've done the Senedd elections. I'll dig into Restore Britain. I'll try and get them on the podcast as well. I have got a few things coming up with Restore Britain, which I'll bring to you on cameras as soon as I've done them. So don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Look at Britain, not to Restore Britain, not to Reform, not to Plaid, not to Labour, not to Conservatives. None of them. They're not going to help you. Only Jesus can.